Good day, everyone. Today, our group will present our project on renewable energy in Kurdistan and for the Creative Critical Thinking course. My name is Shahan Mahmoud, and I'll be covering the first part of our presentation. Renewable energy refers to power generated from natural resources that can be replenished independently, like solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal energy. Unlike fossil fuels, which are finite and polluting, renewable energy offers a sustainable and cleaner alternative for Kurdistan's future. Why this issue matters? Why does this issue matter for Kurdistan? First, economic dependency. Around 80% of the KRG's budget comes from oil exports. In 2020, oil price drops caused a 45% budget deficit, showing how vulnerable the economy is. Second, energy poverty. Over 4 million people experience daily blackouts, relying on expensive diesel generators that cost more than grid power. And third, climate commitments. Iraq, including the KRG, has pledged under the Paris Agreement to reduce emissions by 15% by 2030. These challenges make renewable energy not just an option, but a necessity. The five Ws and one H. Now let's look at the context using the five Ws and one H framework. First, who? The KRG government, over 120,000 oil workers, households with only 6 hours of power daily, and investors in solar and wind. The when action is urgent, with global oil demand expected to peak by 2030. Kurdistan risks falling behind regional peers like the UAE, where prioritizing Duhok for wind and Erbil and Suleimania for solar, along with nationwide grid upgrades. Why is to stabilize budgets, save on imports, meet climate goals, and end energy poverty. What is the transitioning from 92% fossil fuel dependence to renewable for long term security? How is through policy reforms, retraining programs, and strategic foreign investments. The advantages of renewable energy. Renewable energy offers many advantages for Kurdistan. It's environmentally friendly, cutting greenhouse gas emissions by up to 80% compared to fossil fuels. It creates jobs, construction, operation, and maintenance supporting economic diversifications. Uh, and it improves energy resilience by reducing dependence on costly fossil fuel imports and strengthening our national energy security. Challenges of renewable energy. However, there are also real challenges that must be addressed, like investment costs remaining high through they are falling with technology advances. Solar and wind production depend on weather, requiring better energy storage systems. For the infrastructure, upgrades to transmission and distribution networks are essential. We also need strong government policies to support and incentivize renewable energy development. These challenges require careful planning and long term commitment. This was my part, and my colleague Shko will continue from now on.
Uh, Hello, everyone. I am Shko Latif, and we will continue discussing the economic diversification through renewable energy. Let's start with the economic impact of transitioning to renewables. The UAE is a prime example. With an investment of $163 billion in renewable energy. They have created over 270,000 jobs. Now imagine Kurdistan following a similar path. GIZ estimates over 50,000 jobs could be created in solar installation and maintenance alone. According to our World Bank model, renewables could to contribute to 2 or 3% growth into Kurdistan's GDP. This isn't just about green energy; it's about the strategic move towards economic diversification and resilience. Now, let's talk about the environmental benefits. Beyond economics, renewable energy brings major environmental and health benefits. For every 1 megawatt of solar energy installed, we avoid around 1,200 tons of carbon dioxide emissions each year. This translates to cleaner air and, according to the World Health Organization, up to $220 million annually in health cost savings, especially from fewer respiratory illnesses. So the environmental transition always also pays off in human well-being and reduces public health burden. And now we'll talk about the job losses and how to address them. Of course, changes come with challenges, and around 12% of jobs in Kurdistan are currently tied to the oil sector. So there's a real risk of job loss. However, this isn't the end of the story. Uh, Germany's coal exit program shows us that job transitions are possible. They achieved an 85% retention rate by retaining coal workers for green jobs. Similar retention initiatives in Kurdistan could help workers shift into new sectors and ensure that no one is left behind in this transition. And now we will talk about the high cost of financing and smart financing. Another concern in the high upfront cost. Another concern is the high upfront cost. A 100 megawatt solar farm costs around $160 million. But when we look at international examples, we see smart financing model in action. For example, Jordan raised around 700 million dollars through green bonds to fund their renewable projects. This shows us that high cost don't have to be a barrier. With strategic financial planning, renewable investments can be both viable and profitable in the long run. And now we'll talk about the hybrid energy strategy for Kurdistan. The hybrid model is to balance the pros and cons. We propose a hybrid strategy model tailored for Kurdistan. By 2035, we could aim for a 50-30-20 strategy mix, which means 50% oil, 30% solar and wind, and 20% natural gas. To fund this transition, redirecting just 10% of our oil revenues, about 280 million per year, would be enough to make meaningful progress. This strategy ensures energy security while still moving towards sustainability. It's not about replacing oil overnight, but evolving our strategy portfolio. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Haujindana and I now present from the rooftop solar program and to the rest of it. Let's start with the rooftops solar program. In phase 1 from 2024 to 2026, the plan is to install solar panels on 50,000 homes in Arbil and Suleimani also. Each house will receive 50% subsidy, reducing the cost to $5,000. The impact of this phase will be the addition of 200 megawatts of energy, giving residents around 2 extra hours of electricity daily. A visual simulator will be used to help track solar adoption across the region also. And wind coordinator development. This slide introduces the wind coordinator development project. The Duhok Mountains have the identified as a strong wind resource zone classified as class 4. 4 classes with an average wind speed 7.2 meters per second. In 2023, Siemens Gamesa, a global leader in wind technology, expresses strong interest in investing. The development includes a 3D wind map that shows potential turbine placement, making this project technically feasible and attractive to environments. And the next slide is about the cost-benefit analysis. 10 years of the project. Sorry. Over the 10 years, the total cost of the renewable energy project is to be $4.2 billion, but the benefits are significant. Over 65,000 jobs will be created, 5 million tons of CO2 will be reduced, and $9 billion in oil saving are expected. This clearly shows that long-term investment in renewable offer both environmental and economical returns. And the next slide is conclusion and recommendations. In conclusion, this strategy has 3 key recommendations. 1. The energy transition is essential. 2. All parties must cooperate. And 3. Continuous investment in research and development. The steps are necessary to reach Iraq's clean by 2030. And finally, the data presented in is backed by credible resources, including the Kurdish Government Ministry of Electricity 2023 annual report and IRENA's 2023 renewable energy prospects for Iraq and the World Bank's 2022 energy sector assessment. The reference supports the secure and planning for the renewable energy roadmap. And in conclusion, we see that renewable energy plan to not just a vision is practical phased approach to the solving Iraq's new energy challenge. With a solar system in the cities, wind coordinator is in the mountain, and a billions in economic and environmental returns. We can clearly see that potential for